What's up guys, welcome back to the ProMG Money channel, back again with another video. And first things first, welcome to the year 2022. I hope you guys entered into the new year in the best way possible. I for sure know that I'm really happy and looking forward to this year, as there's a lot of great things to come. And basically this video is the start of a brand new series. We are taking over from the Lobola challenge with this new series which we're calling iStraight Lendaba, where basically I'll try to prove that this thing is straight and simple. You can beat the market. Basically what we're trying to prove is that you on your own, just picking stocks individually, can do better than the market or what experts out there might be saying you may or must not be going into. So we're literally going to take local and international stocks, pick them for ourselves, and try to beat the market by doing that over the next 2 years. And with that, I think comes our first point from this video. The first point I would like to make is that time is the most important thing when it comes to the market. Some believe in timing the market, meaning getting in at the right time at the right place. Personally, I'm a firm believer in timing the market, not timing, but time in the market, meaning being in the game for as long as possible to realize the most amount of gains. You'll always hear people speaking about compound interest, but what really helps compound interest to work is time. A lot of people will look at the time it's taken for a stock or for a company to reach the levels you might have anticipated, and the opportunity costs that were lost by being in a specific stock versus another one, which is perfectly fine and that's valid. But for us, or for the way I like to invest, I think rather being in the market just for the sake of being in the market is much better than waiting for the correct stock. Because if you're going to keep on waiting and hoping and waiting and hoping, you're eventually going to miss the bus. Not even miss the bus, but the bus might not ever come, and there are many opportunities that you've missed along the way to kind of get in on things. So for us, time in the market is key. And basically, to start us off, like I said, we're going to be comparing, is it 4 or 3 products? The first of them is actually going to be what most market experts, most people on YouTube will tell you to get into, and they say you must get some sort of index that tracks the market, something that follows the S&P 500 as closely as possible. And we are going to do that by starting off by investing every month 500 Rand of our own money into an S&P 500 ETF. Specifically, the one that we're going to be going for is the Sygnia Itrix S&P 500 ETF. Reason why we're going for this one, I think it does have the lowest expense ratio of the local South African ones, and generally I do like to show things that are more attainable or easier to get for a normal person that doesn't cause a lot of admin or a lot of work that you need to do to get into it. So probably one of the follow-up videos I'm going to make is how you get into the Sygnia Itrix S&P 500 ETF, and we're going to be doing that. And basically that is the first way that we're going to be trying to beat the market, and this is really the main thing that we'll be competing up against. So that was the first product, the Sygnia ETF, or the S&P 500 ETF. But the next thing we're going to be going for, and if you've guessed it, well done, it's something we speak about quite a bit on this channel, and that is a unit trust. If you don't know what a unit trust is, just click up there. There'll be a video explaining, or my explanation of what a unit trust is and how it works. It probably will also go over ETFs. It does go over ETFs if I remember correctly as well, but it focuses on unit trust. But basically the next product we're going to be doing is a unit trust, and the reason why we're doing a unit trust and an ETF is that unit trusts generally are more actively managed, meaning that there's a fund manager who will be balancing and adding or taking away stocks in that particular unit trust or that basket, depending on how they're going. So basically with the two, what we're trying to compare the difference between actively and passively managed funds to see actually over time which is better for you. And the one that I've selected, and maybe not the greatest in terms of comparing it to the S&P 500, is the Old Mutual Global Equity Fund. Reason being is that I think over a longer period of time, I'm talking now 7, 8, 9, 10 years, I think this has been one of the best performing funds in South Africa. It actually does have a very nice overall feel for the market. There are many countries that it covers and it gets into, and like I said, probably next video we'll not go over into, but we'll be comparing the ETF or looking at the composition of the ETF, some of the companies in there, how to get started, and we'll also be looking at the Old Mutual Global Equity Fund. This one I'm highlighting specifically as well because it's a good option for someone's tax-free savings. If you do happen to get your tax-free savings with Old Mutual, I think for me personally, over the horizon of time you're looking for with your tax-free savings, because really you can't touch that thing, this is one of the good ones to be in. But also as well, there are other good world products that you could be in for your tax-free savings. So to each his own, depending on how you do it. But basically that's the next thing. In Old Mutual Global Equity Fund Unit Trust, we'll be adding the same 500 that we'll be adding into the other two in this one, to see what comes out best. Another thing, it actually is a bit more expensive because it's actively managed. It does have, you know, a bit more of a pricing premium versus the Itrix ETF. So there's also that we're going to consider. We're going to see how actually do these fees kind of erode into your money, into your profits over time, because let me tell you, it really does make a difference. Ask me, I know. But yeah, that is the Old Mutual Global Equity Fund Unit Trust. Last but not least, and actually the worst of all of these, and it's something I've really been wanting to do for a long time, is comparing all of these guys to Franc. Now, if you don't know what Franc is, please click up there so you can see my video on Franc. It is possibly one of the worst financial products out there, but I think it is a very smart idea and a very convenient way of going about doing it. But the video will explain everything for you. But basically, the last thing we're going to be comparing it to is Franc. Now, if I'm honest with you, I do believe I'm going to be losing money on this particular portion. The other two I think might do well, you know, over the next 2 years. They might do okay. Franc, look, to be honest, I don't see it losing money as per se, but I see it losing money in inflationary terms, in that I don't see it outperforming the market. I don't see it beating what I consider to, or the benchmark that I use for inflation, which is about 3%. So I just want to see this thing go do more than 3%, and then, you know, it would have been okay. But yeah, personally for me, Franc, I continue to say is horrible, probably one of the worst products out there. I wanted to actually do a series where I went head to head against Franc, but I kind of felt it was going to be a bit too much of a whitewash for me to, you know, go against Franc alone. So I wanted to give it some other things to compare it to, and I also wanted to, you know, kind of show people that I don't want to say I know what I'm talking about, but I have an idea of what I'm talking about when I say Franc isn't indeed good, because I got a lot of slack for that, as in, you know, people said I didn't actually put any skin in the game or try to actually actively compare it to something else and show you me actually losing money on Franc. So that's exactly what I'm going to do now. I'm going to take my own money, put it into Franc, and show you guys just how horrible and bad it is. And hopefully with that, you'll be able to see that I was legit talking the truth. And that is basically going to be the last thing that we compare it to. And then the final thing is that we're going to open up an account using Easy Equities, where we're going to be picking our own local and international stocks. Similar to the other guys, it's going to be 500 Rand every month, and we're going to see over the next 2 years how that does. So basically 4 platforms. It's the ETF, it is the unit trust, it is Franc, and it's going to be us investing and picking stocks. That is basically what I'm trying to say to you. iStraight Lendaba, the last one, picking your own stocks, taking the time to diligently go about searching for companies, is always the best way to get into the market. And I guess in conclusion, what I want to say is that by doing it this way, I am kind of making the kind of returns I'm looking to do a whole lot more realistic, because I think the Lobola challenge, as well as it did, I think it was a lot of COVID gains that, you know, got us to where we were, and just a lot of things went in our favor according to different times. And I think it's not a realistic look at what you can get over that 2-year horizon. It was great. I'm happy that we got there, but I'd really like to showcase what you know, the market really looks like over a period of 2 years. So I am still going to be, you know, aiming for the sky, shooting for the stars, and hopefully we get to the same levels we got to with the Lobola challenge. And if not, all I'm hoping for is that we at least beat these other 3 that we're going up against, because I think it would be really embarrassing if we didn't. But even if we didn't, I think you would have learned something. You would have seen that actually there are options out there. You know, a lot of us are not as diligent or don't really want to go about picking individual stocks. This is going to be the best way for you to go about getting involved in the market, and that's all I'm trying to showcase. So follow us together for the next 2 years. Let's see how it goes, and with that, look forward to the next video where I show you guys how we get into the Sygnia ETF, and how we also get into the Old Mutual Unit Trust. That's been your boy Pro MG Money. See you guys in the next one. Peace.